Hello, everyone. Welcome to class number 6. In this class, we're going to check vocabulary related to movies. Okay. And we will try to see an example of how to compare and contrast a movie that was released as a film and also as a book. Okay, so we're going to see or we're going to share the similarities and differences between the book and the movie. Well, let's start. Essentially, today we're going to check vocabulary. Okay, uh, notice that we have affirmative and negative words in here to indicate not only the movie, not only the book, but we can be more specific. We can talk about the plot, the setting of the movie, for example, or the story, the plot of the story. We can talk about the characters, okay, the performance of each actor in the movie. Also, we can analyze the books and the movies in this way, right? We can talk about the author's ideas and thoughts and the point of view of the author as well. Well, let's just check pronunciation here and then we continue. Here we have adjectives such as absurd, bizarre, disgusting, dreadful, dumb, fabulous, fantastic, horrible, marvelous, odd, outstanding, ridiculous, silly, terrible, unusual, weird. Well, this is essential vocabulary that we check in class. We can also describe the type of movie depending on their genre. Okay. So we have comedies, thrillers, drama, mysteries, action or adventure, science fiction that we can also find it in this way, sci-fi. Okay, it's the same, it's the short form. Romance, and also we can have a combination of rom-com, which is romance and comedy. Okay, so they are very famous as well, rom-com. Classics, documentaries, horror, animation. So here we have the type of movie, for example, that we can find out. And we also can practice these questions because these questions can be used in your oral presentation. In your oral presentation, you're going to have a debate. The idea is that we have two teams and you are against or in favor of a particular story in book or movie. Okay. And then you can ask these kind of questions among you. Okay, so please keep in touch with this. Practice the questions; they are essential. Okay. Now, for the analysis of the book and the story, or the story of the book and the movie, we can have categories like this one. We can talk about the characters. We can talk about the plot. Remember that the plot is related to the most important event or the most important conflict, okay, and the resolution of the conflict as well. So essentially, these are related to the plot of the story. The setting refers to the time period, the location, the mood of people in the story, okay? When we talk about the things, is the most important ideas or messages in the story. And the point of view is the your personal point of view, especially that we want to see here or we want to listen from you is uh, describing or yeah, comparing and contrasting the film with or the your version, the film version with the book. All right. This is what essentially we are looking for in this activity. Okay. Remember that in here you can express feelings, you can express agreement, disagreement, previous weeks. Remember the first weeks of this level. You can express complaint, disappointment. All right. You can talk about the occupations of the profession of people involved in the film. Okay. Since actors, writer, cameraman, producer, okay, director. Wow, you can include all occupations also. You can talk about that. That's the idea. We were like accumulating vocabulary and structures that you can use now. All right. This is some aspects that we can mention, for example, in relation to the book. Let's go with the first one. It says, for the book, focus on the author's choice in description, inner monologue, and narrative style. Books often provide more in depth details about characters' thoughts and feelings because they are not limited by time constraints. In fact, when in a book, the description of the setting is really nice because they the book wants to take you to the place, right? They explain the visual things, they explain the smells in the story, the sounds, okay? That normally in a film you just see and listen and you don't need any description of the place, right? You have just to watch, observe, and identify. But in the book, it's more specific, right? Now, in the movie, for the movie, focus on the director's visual and auditory choices, right? To replace these descriptions that we have here, right? Such as camera angle, soundtrack, casting, and films present a predetermined visual interpretation of the story and more condensed.